Hey everyone, today I want to talk about if you should go full-time before you're actually making a full-time income in your network marketing business. So this is a situation that comes up more often than I would have thought, where people come to us and they say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing, or do you think this is a good idea, or whatever. And basically the idea is, so I've got 3 months of income, I've got 6 months of income saved up, and I just want to give this network marketing thing a full-time go. Is that a good idea? For 99.9% of everyone, I would say no, not a good idea. You're going to make generally worse decisions when you feel really constricted with your finances than better ones. So as you know, starting a business requires investment, and it requires an ongoing investment. You know, right now, we have plenty of days where we have every day where we're spending more money in a day in advertising than I used to make in a day, by like a factor of 2, or 3. So that right there tells you something. Like, I'm putting that money out there. Now, granted, we're making it back, but I know that if I invest more in certain correct things, I have the potential to make more. But we're generally way more apprehensive to put that money out there if we've got a time limit on it. So if I know I've got 3 months of income, and I always say, okay, I want to run a test for $500, and let's just use an arbitrary number of $3,000 a month as my spend. So I've got basically 10 grand in the bank, and I want to run a $500 test. That's 5% of my like little nest egg. So that's basically scraping off a week and a half of living if that test doesn't pay off. So when you do this calculation in your head, you're like, I don't know if I want to make that investment. I don't know if I want to do that test, which might be smart, but most likely it's not. So when you do that kind of stuff and you become desperate for money all the time, you really put yourself in a position of weakness where you start making bad business choices because you're holding on to things too tightly, right? Because in business, you have to invest continually until it pays off. So with that being the case, I would say it is probably a bad idea to quit your job and go full-time before you're ready. Now, how do you know you're ready? When you've matched your income. That's when you're ready. So keep your job, and maybe you need to switch jobs to make it more conducive to your, business. Maybe if you're working some crazy schedule, you need to go get a 9 to 5 rather than a, 12 to 10 type of job. Maybe you have to stop working nights, whatever. For me, when I got into network marketing, I was working in the motorcycle industry. I was working from like 10 in the morning till 7 at night, and then I was working every Saturday. And at the time, I was building the business, kind of old school, so I was going to hotel meetings and doing all that kind of crazy stuff. And I needed my nights and weekends free. So I switched jobs. I took a very large pay cut and went to a corporate job working 9 to 5. Now, at the time, that was a good decision for me because I needed to free up my schedule, but I still kept the job because I needed the money. So do not quit your job before you're ready, or you'll become desperate and you'll probably make bad choices. Now, there is a very small percentage of the population out there that relates to someone like myself in this area. And that is, you actually thrive better without a job than with one. Now, when I say there's a small percentage of the population out there that relates to me on this, I don't mean that you're superior or that I'm superior by thinking this way. We just have like a screw loose somewhere. And if I have a job, I'm less creative, I'm more angry, I do not feel good about myself. And in fact, without the constraints of a job, I'll generally perform better. So I left, in fact, for about 6 years, I felt that I shouldn't have a traditional job. And every time I'd go to my upline, I would say, hey, upline, I really don't feel like I should have a job. I really feel like I should be having my own like traditional business to make my money to live off of while building my MLM on the side. And he always told me what I just told you. No, Zach, keep the job, stay stable. Which, from his perspective, he didn't really know me that well at the time. It was good advice, right? But in retrospect for myself, that was actually really bad advice for me. But again, it's not his fault. I could have disregarded that information. He just didn't know me that well at the time. It's all good. But in retrospect, I should have left my job earlier. So when I did leave my job, and before I was ready, my MLM wasn't paying me enough to quit my job at the time. I said, screw this, I'm out. I left my job, and within 4 months, I matched my corporate salary in a different source of income. Not MLM, but a more traditional business that I started. Within 9 months, I had doubled my previous corporate salary. Actually, I think I more than doubled it. So for me, I performed better without the confines of a job. And then what I was able to do is take the freedom that I created for myself and build my MLM even more. So realize this, if you quit your job, and you've got 3 months to live. You're probably not going to build your business, your MLM business, to the point where you can sustain yourself off of that in the next 3 months or the next 6 months if you've never done it before. Okay, it's going to take you longer than that. So your only shot at quitting your job and like getting to a place where you can sustain yourself on your own within 3, 4, 5 months, most likely, not every time, it depends on how much money you make, but most likely it's not going to be through MLM itself. It's going to be through some other avenue that provides quicker income. As you know, MLM doesn't provide the quickest income out there. It can give you good income initially, but its real benefit is the long-term stuff, right? So if you quit, you have to have some type of other business venture or idea that you can roll with to do it. Now, what most people will do, this is why only 0.1% of the population can do this well, is if you're a percentage of the population that can run a traditional business, you most likely fall into the category where you can't focus on two things. So meaning, there's nothing wrong with this, by the way. In fact, most of us are like this. So if you quit your job to go start a traditional business, and let's say you succeed at your traditional business, it is highly unlikely that you will then still focus on your MLM with the same amount of intensity, because you have to now pay the bills with your other business. And not only are you the person doing the thing that pays the bills, such as painting the houses, detailing the cars, doing the marketing for someone else, you actually also have to go get the business too early on. So you're the salesperson, you're the marketer, and you're the fulfillment person that's giving the thing that you're selling. Plus, you're running your other MLM thing. So basically, you have to do everything it takes to keep the lights on, which there's a lot more than you probably think when it comes to running your own business. A traditional business, you have to do the marketing, like I said, the sales, like I said, the fulfillment, like I said. How do you handle the money? What if you have a bad month with no money? What do you pay first? That kind of a thing. So most people don't really fit into that mold, and it's okay if you don't. If you do fit in the mold, you're not any more special in any sense of the sense whatsoever. You just have to identify where you're at. It's worth a test. If you're not quite sure where you're at, but you're being led one way, just give it a test. You never know till you test it, right? So give it a test. If you screw everything up, who cares, right? You can always go back and get a job later. You can always probably rebuild whatever you've broken. So with that being said, hopefully that makes sense to you. I would say general population, do not quit your job. Stay at your job. Maybe switch your job if you need to make a little more money. Switch your schedule, that kind of thing. Put the majority of your attention on your MLM business. Don't be afraid of investing. If you're one of those oddballs like myself that just has to quit your job, you're going to lose your mind, go ahead and do that, but don't lose focus on your MLM. And make sure that you're making enough to continue to invest. Sound good? All right, well, that being said, hopefully you all have an amazing day. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And if this is one of your first videos you've ever been to, what we actually do is build MLM businesses online. We teach you how to do that for your own MLM business, and of course, we do it for ourselves. End result is we have systems that can bring in as many as 900 applicants in a day, wanting to talk to you specifically about your business. We've had months where we've sponsored, months or weeks even, we've sponsored more people in a week than most people will do an entire year or two. And we do that through intelligent recruiting systems online without spamming people, without doing any of that mumbo jumbo crap, without any tech knowledge. And you can learn how we do that. If you go to MLMRebelsBlueprint.com, we can show you exactly how we do that. It's totally for free. If you'd like to talk about this more in a discussion group format, go to MLMSalesFunnels.com, and you can do that there as well. So anyway, with that, I hope you have an amazing day. Hopefully this helped you guys, and we'll see y'all soon.